Hey everybody, it's Final Flame Productions back with another Terminator Dark Fate video. Today again I return to the Edward Furlong, John Connor saga that has been the main talking point of Terminator Dark Fate going into the release now in the next month or two. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm getting quite tired of the vagueness of which Skydance and Paramount have kind of muzzled all the actors and haven't allowed them to say anything, which is fine up until a point. I mean, they don't want to give away spoilers and stuff. I mean, all the proof suggests he won't be in it. If you look at the transcript, Edward Furlong says he will be in the movie in a small role. He was asked about the role, Edward Furlong, he says, "I'm not allowed to say anything about it. It's a small role, but I'm in there. I'm in there." "I'm in there" is the most telling thing of all this, because that really means that he's not actually there, but he is in there, if you know what I mean. He's in that. His facial, his likeness, his voice is in there, but he's not actually there. I think that's the most telling thing in it all. Spoilers ahead, sorry if people don't want to be spoiled about certain plot points, spoiled from the leak that was released a while back. The opening scene of Terminator Dark Fate is allegedly has John Connor murdered as a kid, shortly after the events of Terminator 2. So of course Edward Furlong isn't that age anymore, so they're getting Jude Cawley in to be that. Jude Cawley is a younger actor who would be roughly the same age as Edward Furlong back in the 90s. And he's doing the John Connor role in like a deep fake, probably a little bit more advanced. The facial structure and the actual face of young John Connor on this stand-in kind of stunt person role. And that's what was supposedly going to be that was the John Connor scene that we all know about if you've read the leaks. Since Comic-Con, James Cameron said that Edward Furlong will come back. The director and cast were asked about it again at the Reddit thing. They didn't really seem to want to talk about it, which people that believe that Edward Furlong's coming back are saying that it's a secret scene. He's going to be alive at the end of the movie. Allegedly he gets killed in the first 15 minutes, so that has been pretty much proven. I mean, Linda Hamilton says that her character is out for vengeance. She's out for revenge, so that means that John Connor is really dead. And there is no way for him to come back. There is no way for there to be any flashbacks. If there's more flashbacks, it won't be older Edward Furlong. It's just going to be the CGI creation, and all of that is okay. I think killing John Connor is the worst idea of all worst ideas you could think of. But they're doing it, and it may sink the movie. I think it's probably going to be hard to get people interested, or it's going to lose a lot of people at the start of the movie is what I'm trying to say. And I think that this whole saga now of people wondering, is he in the movie, isn't he, is really I think it's a ploy by the people making the movie. They don't want to let anybody know about this opening scene, and I think the next trailer of it, whenever it comes, it's not gonna go even near John Connor once again, because they don't want people to know about this. They don't want people to know about it mainly because it's a plot leak and it's a big plot point. Fair enough, but they don't want people to know about it because I think they know people are going to be pissed off about it. And they will be. But most people that read articles online aren't digging in and finding out all this leaked information. They just hear They hear about Edward Furlong come back, they see the trailer, that's all they know about it. So if you're wondering why there's no really extreme anger, widespread, it's because people don't really know about it. This franchise is not Star Wars in the sense that if news like Luke Skywalker was getting killed in Last Jedi had leaked, people would have been just going insane the months and weeks coming into it. Terminator is of course a big franchise, but it's not of the level where it's become this widespread, complete fan outrage kind of mania that that would happen if it was in Star Wars. Terminator doesn't really have that. The smaller, kind of more obscure fan bases that know about it, such as myself and other people that follow this news, we're outraged by it, but this is again until the movie's released, and the mass public, if they do go to see this movie, are going to find out about it. And that's what the people making this movie want. They don't want this negative plot leak, because they know it's a negative now, because they've seen how people have reacted to it. They don't want it to get out any further. And as I said in an earlier video, the way they're making it vague and the way they're using the news websites to report this news that Edward Furlong's back is very disingenuous if he isn't actually coming back physically. Now, if he's physically in this movie for 3 seconds, they're spot on. They were completely in their rights to say he's returned. But if they're really pretending that he's back and all it's going to be is a CGI facial thing, I think it's absolute BS. And, you look back, I made this point before, when Terminator Salvation came around, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it as a CGI character, but they let the audience know months before that he wouldn't physically be in it. And, that was... they could have pretended, kind of like what they're doing here, that Arnold will be back and make a big thing of it, but no, they told people up front, no, he won't be in the movie, it's just a CGI character. With Edward Furlong, they're trying to pretend, they're trying to drum up excitement, because this movie doesn't have much excitement. Even if you are excited by it, you have to be honest, the trailer didn't get that much of a reaction. The reaction it did get wasn't that positive, and you've got to say it's just disingenuous. It's getting fans' hopes up. It's it's kind of making a mockery of the news articles who just take the clickbait and run with it, and they haven't really investigated any more of it. I would have been much more impressed had they just said John Connor has a small role and it's going to be the younger John Connor. They didn't have to spoil whether he dies or not, but now they're just pretending that this actor who, for him to come back and do a role in this movie, physically an older Edward Furlong, would be a massive moment in Edward Furlong's career, and for fans of the guy and the fans of the franchise. And for them to use that excitement just to cover up what's really happening, which is just a CGI BS moment, it's pretty it's a low ball by the people making the movie. But that's what this franchise has become. It's become a pretty desperate, and I would say some of the decisions been made by the people making it are just insane. What do you think? Do you share my annoyance, or do you think that somehow Edward Furlong will be in this movie? Let me know.